Hi, this is Jared Polak, founder of Entre Results. Looking forward to another fun, dynamic podcast today. What we're going to look at today is how to avoid sales self-sabotage. This is one thing that many of us do, many of us have done over time, and it is sabotaging our sales. It is a huge no-no. It is a very, very dangerous and deadly thing for our businesses. Here's the situation. The situation is we receive a prospect, we receive a referral, we receive a lead. Maybe it comes from a referral source, maybe it comes from a networking group, perhaps it comes from the internet. The lead or the prospect comes to us directly. The problem is, many times you and I have an unrealistic expectation in terms of the frequency of the follow-up and the speed in which the follow-up needs to happen. We think too small and too little. And so that is the problem. Now, what to do about it? Listen, in terms of speed, this might sound like common sense, but it really doesn't happen very often. Immediately touch base with the referral. Usually, if possible, I recommend a phone call if they have the telephone number. Oftentimes, people don't follow up immediately. They put it aside. Listen, follow up immediately, like right then and there, if not within 2 hours. That is so paramount and key. Now, the reality is, we're busy. We got stuff going on. And so sometimes we don't really have a lot of time. And so when I'm talking about that initial follow-up, keeping it very simple sometimes. It might be you call up and you say, hey, listen, I wanted to connect quickly. I got your information. You're important to me. I'm actually in between appointments right now. Can we talk in more detail later today? And so the first touch doesn't have to be a long conversation, doesn't have to be something huge, but it has to be immediate because they're looking at the competition. Everyone's scouting for maybe different people that can provide your product and service, and oftentimes the first person that touch base will eventually get the business. Well, what to ignore in our head? What to ignore in our head is, I am too busy, I got too much going on, or I will do that later. Listen, later becomes a day later, later becomes a week later, later takes people from hot to warm to lukewarm to cold. So immediately follow up. And then the tenacity, if not reached the first time. Oftentimes we reach out to people and we don't get a hold of them the first time. Well, there needs to be multiple follow-ups. Think about the different ways that you can follow up with people. People communicate in different ways. So maybe it's a phone call. Maybe the second touch is an email. Maybe the third touch is another email. Then maybe you text message them. Maybe you can connect with them in social media to follow up. There are multiple ways to follow up. And I encourage us all to look at different ways to follow up, not just one avenue. How many times to follow up? Well, this depends on the qualification, the size. I mean, there's so many different factors that relate to how many times to follow up. But generally speaking, if it's a qualified prospect and there's a reasonable amount of money involved in this, 5 to 9 times to follow up is a good number in terms of the amount of times to follow up. Now, if it's unqualified or if it's a very, not a huge profit for your company, 1 to 4 times might be a reasonable amount of follow up. So again, just to recap, following up quickly and following up tenaciously will help us avoid sales self-sabotage. Go out and take action, make it happen, have fun, and be courageous doing it.